the women who experience that violence come back to life in the dream. So it's been finding us I was having this sort of flashbacks of the way of the range of
Okay. Welcome back, replay viewers. Let's see who tunes on in. Nabul, first one in the room. Bienvenue, and good to see you, Barry. Good to see you, DeBailey. Welcome, hello again. Good to see you, Paula. Good to see you, Myrna. Shout out to my Canadian viewers. Good to see you, Jerry. Good to see you there, Dan. Welcome to the Queens Museum here in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. Good to see you, Robert. Good to see you, S. Fields. Welcome. Good to see everyone. And we're back, Brian. That's right, we're back. Let's let 50 people tune in, and then we'll begin our panorama tour. Good to see you, JC. Welcome. JC Droid, welcome. Hello, everybody. Good to see you, Travis. I appreciate those kind words, Travis. Thank you so much. Good to see you, Gail and Frank Cohen out there in Tucson, Arizona. Good to see you there, Dave. You're back just in time. Finishing work, Darlene. Awesome. October, good to see you. Everything as well. Good to see you, Colleen. Welcome. Good to see you, Leela. Welcome. Good to see everybody. Welcome to the Queens Museum. And we're gonna go into the panorama here. Did I freak? I did not bring a laser pointer. No, I did not. Good to see you, Michelle K. You looking forward to this stream? Awesome. Good to see you, John Laura. Welcome. Let's let everyone tune in before entering the panorama. Oh, this is going to be a good one. One of my favorite live streams. Here to show you guys. Good to see you, Easy Rider. Welcome out there in Los Angeles. John Stevenson's here. Good to see you, John. Good to see you, Dave. Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Seven more people to go. There you go, Darlene. It's okay, John. Good to see you. You made it here for the panorama. That's all that matters. Good to see you, Tanji. Welcome. It's your favorite live stream. Yes, Nabul, me too. I love showing the panorama. I love showing the panorama of New York City, the largest architectural scale model in the world. Let's let 50 people tune in, and then we're going to begin our tour. 50 people tune on in, and we'll begin our tour. Love looking at it. Me too, Easy Rider. Yeah, this is kind of like the entrance. Yeah, this is kind of like the entrance. Admission is free, S Fields, but you do need a timed ticket. Darlene, let's go, baby. That's right. Let's go. Let's go, people. Let's go. All right, 52 people in the room. It is time, ladies and gentlemen. Who constructed the panorama? Good to see you, Barry. The panorama was constructed by the people at the World's Fair Corporation for 1964-1965. Over 300 panels create this panorama, and over 300 people took 3 years to make this. Oh, here we go, guys. Ready? Here we. Ooh, it's nighttime here in the city. We're just at sunset. Down goes the sun. Down goes the sun. Down goes the sun. Let's get to that 1x lens. And what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna play for you the original audio from the panorama. I'm gonna walk back and forth around the panorama. We're gonna enjoy the views of the panorama. This is another art exhibit that's superimposed, that is being projected around the panorama, bringing awareness to domestic violence. So a pretty hardcore art exhibit is kind of projecting around this, but here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the largest scale model here in the city. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here comes the voice of Lowell Thomas. Here is a simulated helicopter ride from the 1964-1965 World's Fair. Here it comes, everybody.
Now look below you. The city of opportunity and of greatness, New York. More than 800,000 buildings, millions of stories, bold and eloquent poems in concrete, glass, steel, soaring, stretching bridges and towers, reaching beyond expectation to record for all time the energy, thought, and hope of man. Look at this map and you locate the human race. This is as far as we've gone, a quick snapshot of our progress on Earth. By tomorrow, it will have changed. Far more than stone and glass, this turbulent city capital of the 20th century is energy, the accumulating force of 8 million people who daily inhabit its towers, walk, ride, and play in its streets, and give this city its meaning. A surging metropolis of 8 million masters with one incredible servant, the municipal government of the city of New York, whose annual budget is larger than any of the 50 states, larger than most of the United Nations, whose capital is also here. How do you protect 8 million people, prevent contagious disease, educate 1 million children, serve 1 million aged, take care of the needy, provide job opportunity, leisure time opportunity, a good life for all? An alarm in the night. From almost 300 fire stations, the red lights flashing below, engines instantly on their way. One of 1,000 fires a week, mainly in crowded districts where many people live. New York, $35 billion worth of buildings, 8 million lives in the hands of 12,000 dedicated officers and men. The fire department, largest in the world, working closely with the police, traffic, the courts, and correction to make New York a safe place to live. 90% of all fires are preventable, and 95% of its firemen teach prevention door to door, in the hospitals, on the beaches with a sound truck, and in the schools. 600 elementary schools, the blue lights flashing below. 250 junior and senior high schools, the yellow lights. 1.25 million students, and all deserve the finest education our town can provide. The 3 R's are still basic, but students are also trained to think and make judgments, to get along with others, to have high moral and spiritual values. Today, the Board of Education faces difficult problems, integrating children of different races. The teenager who drops out of school just when he needs more education to get a skilled job. But through the patience and hard work of their 50,000 teachers, the city's children daily receive a better understanding of their world and of themselves to make the best use of their own abilities. 850 public schools, 11 city colleges, dozens of museums, over 200 libraries, the city's own radio and TV stations. All these together make New York one of the great centers of free public education for kindergarten kid or senior citizen. Educational opportunity for all. Every 3 minutes, another baby is born. 165,000 every year. But even before arriving, the new baby is a client of the Department of Health, the green lights flashing below. Maternity care, birth, infancy, nourishment to maturity, adulthood, old age. A lifetime of well-being for 8 million people. This is the challenge and incredible achievement of the Department of Health. What does it take? In its laboratories and clinics, minute-by-minute vigilance. Examine and analyze the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water and milk we drink, the drugs we consume, the cosmetics we apply, the houses we live in, the waters of our beaches. Through 22 community health centers and its own research council and institute, the Department of Health stands guard together with the Departments of Sanitation, Hospitals, and Public Works, and tries to solve this problem. Take a lifetime of well-being and multiply by 8 million. The answer? New York, the healthiest city of its size in the history of mankind. The social welfare investigator, one of the most difficult jobs in modern society, daily running the gamut of human want, inadequacy, suffering, need. The Department of Welfare, the blue lights below. It's the largest single social welfare agency of its kind. It provides the necessities of life to those people of the city who can't provide for themselves. Almost 60% of those receiving public aid are children under 18. Tragic aftermath of broken homes and unwed mothers. And 20% more of those being helped are the aged poor. Welfare's aim is to strengthen family life, protect the children, and to restore as many as possible from dependency to self-support, helping each person realize his own potential. This is the commitment of a city to human worth and dignity, to the welfare of all. Marionettes, the park department's very own, presented free to all the children of the city. A simple way to introduce theater to awakening minds. And in 300 wading pools, on 11,000 swings, 3,000 seesaws, in more than 850 playgrounds, the white lights below. Every kind of game to strengthen young bodies, to get lively girls and boys to play according to the rules. Free concerts in the park. More than 300 each year make leisure time more rewarding for older folks, too. And they get quite a kick out of seeing Shakespeare again, superbly produced in the park, free. The dances, entertainment, big bands, but most of all, our senior citizens appreciate the Golden Age centers. Here they find new friends, learn new skills, try arts and crafts, or just enjoy small talk with a smiling companion, instead of the loneliness and the erosion of old age. A new way of life. Through its Department of Parks, the city serves young and old alike, just as they serve the city. This, then, is New York. Far more than steel and concrete, the buildings and streets you see below are lines of force, paths of energy, the restless energy of 8 million people today and millions earlier who together created and are creating this city. Here stretched before you is the cumulative effort of 300 years. 300 years of hope and daring of people of every nation, color, and creed, welcomed by one place of opportunity to live and work together to make their private dreams come true. Here is the mark of our time, man's proudest achievement. Welcome to the city of New York.
And there was the voice of Lowell Thomas. Welcome on into the show, everybody. That was the original narration to the Panorama from the 1964-65 World's Fair. Very vintage, yes. Good to see everybody. Welcome. Yeah, I could hear the recording now. I have my headphones on. Good to see you from India. Good to see you, Grandmaster Mason. Good to see you, Ramona. Good to see everybody. Good to see you, Mullen. Good to see you there, Amtrak. Tangi, welcome. Good to see you, Diana Lee, John Lohr, Easy Rider. Nico Loss, good to see everybody. Good to see you, Perry. Wasn't that awesome, Brian? Good to see you. Wasn't that awesome, Paula? The original recording. The original recording. So you're looking at what is still the largest architectural scale model in the world. Ooh, my favorite part right here. Let's watch the little plane land here at LaGuardia. Look, oh, here it comes. It's coming in for a landing. It's huge, Perry. Before the United Nations opened up their main headquarters over on 42nd Street, this is where the United Nations would meet. This is where the General Assembly used to happen. In this room, they founded UNICEF, and also in this room, the partition of Israel was created. Very inspiring, right, Myrna? How cool is this little model? I love it. The little plane. So it's landing at runway 31 and taking off at runway 13, I think. I forgot, I always forget the other name of the runway. Runway 4 is that runway. We landed at runway 13 the other day. So, yeah, just when you thought it couldn't get any better. So the scale of this model is for every inch on this model, it's 100 feet in real life. If we were flying in an aircraft roughly 20,000 feet above the city, this is what it would roughly look like. Also, the Twin Towers are still on this model. The idea behind this model was that we're going to wait for the entire World Trade Center to be completed before we add them to the model. The last time this entire model was updated was way back in 1992. So, but there was still some things added. City Field's on the model. The new Yankee Stadium is on the model. Brooklyn Bridge Park is on the model. And love that little fountain, right? Love the fountain at LaGuardia. Absolutely dirty. Good to see you. Good to see you, Viking. Welcome. Little silver plane. Yes, Dutch Airlines. Yes, indeed. We're directly above JFK right now. So, JFK Airport. This is Jamaica Bay. This is the Rockaways over here. Coney Island is right up there. Staten Island is right up here. This is all of Brooklyn right here. Of course, that over there is Manhattan Island. This is all Queens over here, and the Bronx is up here. Again, there's nothing outside of New York City that is on this model. So if you're thinking about something in Nassau or Suffolk County, Nassau and Suffolk counties are not on the model. Only the 5 boroughs of New York City. These projections you see around the model are, it's an art piece that's bringing awareness to domestic violence. Where's my place? So my apartment that's under construction is here in Bay Ridge, but I'm right now living way out there in Seagate. The Bronx is up and the Battery's down. You cannot tell how helpful it is to orient non-native like this. Absolutely, Myrna. Okay, Anthony. Anthony, dude, I don't understand where you're getting at with these comments, dude. Yeah, Anthony, I don't know how to even answer that question. You're clearly in your own little mind right there, so I'm just not gonna even try to even entertain that. But it's a hell of a town, yes indeed, all 5 boroughs of New York City. Over 895 buildings are created in this model, so anything taller than 2 stories is in this model. The original buildings on this model were created out of like a balsa wood, and then the newer buildings that are added to the model are made using a plastic 3D resin using 3D printing. So 3D printing creates this. But I love this model here. Every time I come in here, I feel like I'm 11 years old. The first time I ever saw this model, I was 11 years old. And I feel like I'm 11 years old all over again. I really do. Let's zoom in on the model here and look around. So let's look towards the Twin Towers. Again, Miss Viking, nothing in Nassau County, nothing in Suffolk County will be on this model. So the Hamptons are in Suffolk County, so thus it will not be on this model. Suffolk County and the Hamptons are quite far away from here, so clearly they will not be on the model. I think I got a 7-minute day right now, Myrna, because the sun's going down once again here on the model. I think we're having 7-minute days. There's Lower Manhattan, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Williamsburg Bridges, the Twin Towers. As the lights of the city come on up. The parks are highlighted using black light. So the parks are all highlighted. This is basically a big testament to all the work that Robert Moses did here in the city of New York. Robert Moses did have final say on the model, and he could reject any one of the 300 panels that were created. So the people who worked this model, the original creators of this model, did work under a significant amount of pressure. Dirty 10, you gotta come back to New York. Gotta see this in person, Darlene. Not a lot of tourists come up here to the Queens Museum to experience this. I highly, highly, highly recommend seeing this. This is one of the greatest things you could ever see here in New York. And the best part, it is absolutely free to visit. Yeah, Tangi, I highly recommend seeing this. On the model, we are right here. We are right there. There's Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. The Unisphere is right there. LaGuardia Airport right up there. This is the Flushing Bay, Rikers Island, the Bronx up here. And then we can see Central Park is way over there. There's Central Park. Then we bring the camera around here and you'll see Prospect Park and Greenwood Cemetery, which is right over there. That'll be awesome, Nibble. G-Lo Q, this is more than nice. This is epic. John Costello, welcome. But a lot of history created here in this room, which is pretty amazing. Yeah, Dave and Bangor, man, you gotta come out here and see this. This is one of the greatest things you can see in all of New York City. Good to see you, Easy Rider, out there in Los Angeles. Prospect Park is the one you're interested in. Let's zoom in on it, Mircy. Here is Prospect Park in the heart of Brooklyn. You could just see the Memorial Arch. We're looking from the east towards the west. So we're looking towards the west. We're looking from east to west right now. You could actually see the BQE go over the Gowanus Canal in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. So a lot of cities used to have one, John, back in the day. A lot of cities around the world do have one. The biggest model after this one is the model of Shanghai, but it's a completely different scale and about less than half the size of this. Yeah, it makes you got to get out, Tangi. Danley, absolutely fascinating indeed. Prospect Park is a pretty big park. Here are the rundown. Here's the rundown of all the parks here in New York City. Prospect Park is 526 acres large. Flushing Meadows Corona Park, 898 acres large. It's a big park. Saving nickels, dimes, and pennies, Dave, and you too can visit New York City. Let's get down to Coney Island. Let me show you where I live. Let me show you where I live. Let's fly over the Rockaways here. Where I go to the beach over here at Fort Tilden. That's where I go to the beach. I think Chicago did have one also. So eventually, when the entire World Trade Center is completed, Oscar, the new World Trade Center complex will be added to the model. And we are going to get to Yankee Stadium, Josh. Be patient. We're going to see all the major landmarks here in New York and here on the Panorama. So Yankee Stadium is part of that. So let's just get over there first. Yankee Stadium right now is way up there. So we're down by Coney Island right now. But let's go down here to Coney Island. You're more than welcome, Mircy. Let me show you my little world right now. Here's Coney Island. Here's where I live currently. And whenever you hear me mention Seagate, here's where I live. I live right over here. I live right there. When I say sand dunes are across the street from my house, it is true. Sand dunes are directly across the street from my house because I live right here. And I get a ridiculous view of the New York City skyline. Jim, home sweet home indeed. Let's zoom in on Coney Island. Let's zoom in on it, people. So there's my little world right now. And then we have the west end of Coney Island. You could actually see the parachute jump. The parachute jump is on the model. Let's zoom in on it. Let's zoom in on the amusement district. There's the parachute jump right there. The original Thunderbolt roller coaster is still on the model. And then this right here is the amusement, dated big time. But the Cyclone is still on the model. There's the Cyclone. And the newly revived New York Aquarium is right there. Statue of Liberty is in New York Harbor, and I'll show you that in a moment there, photos. We're making our way up the boardwalk right now. Seabreeze Park, right there. Then Brighton Beach. We keep on going up. There's Manhattan Beach. And then to the left-hand side, Sheepshead Bay. Amongst the places I lived, do I rank this one up there? Absolutely. I cannot take pictures inside Seagate because it is a private gated community. Good to see you, sunshine after the rain. Welcome. So from this perspective, so this is Coney Island in the south. We enter New York Harbor. There's the Verrazano Bridge, and then we enter New York Harbor, and the Statue of Liberty is way up there. There's the Statue of Liberty. Let's zoom in on it from here, but we're going to get up directly above it in a moment here. Again, remember that the scale of the model is for every inch on the model is 100 feet in real life. So the Statue of Liberty is a measly 3 inches tall. Little Island and the Vessel, Oscar, are not on this model. The last time the entire model was updated was way back in 1992. And actually, the Vessel wouldn't be on this model because it'll be too small. But there's the statue. You see how tiny it looks. There's the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island right there. There's the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. Then we zoom up. Governor's Island, where we were yesterday. Good to see you, Marvin. Yes, Far Rockaway. I'm directly above Far Rockaway. I'll show it to you in a second, but we're getting to Lower Manhattan right now. There's Lower Manhattan, the Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge. You can see the Twin Towers, and then we keep on moving up. Empire State Building and Central Park. So the Twin Towers will remain in this exhibit, S Field. It would actually be displayed here in this room. So Far Rockaway is right over here. This is Far Rockaway. This is Breezy Point, Fort Tilden, Reese Park, Neponset, and Bell Harbor. And then the Rockaways are right out here. The High Line is here, Miss Viking. The High Line was created back in 1932. So let's get over there. The High Line is really small, but it is here on the model. The original structure of the High Line was called the West Side Improvement. It was built in 1932, and it stretched from Canal Street all the way up to 54th Street on the west side of Manhattan. Pass Floria, welcome. You're here to be insulted. Okay, Pass. I don't know what you're getting at with that comment, but one more dumb comment, and you won't be able to comment anymore. So let me show you the High Line. We got to zoom in really close to see the High Line. But here we are. We're now directly over Manhattan again. Let's see let's say hello to Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty is directly beneath me here. Let's see that statue. There's our Statue of Liberty. Right there. There's the Statue of Liberty. And then we just pivot the camera over and we're going to see Ellis Island right there. There's Ellis Island. You see, I'm directly above it here in the model. It's tiny. Again, for every inch on the model is 100 feet in real life. So it's really, really small. It's like 1 to 1,000 scale model. Let's travel along the High Line, shall we? Now you're gonna have to look close for the High Line. Can you see it? The High Line is right here. Let's zoom in on it. Yeah, Liberty Island looks vacant, kind of. So again, the original buildings, the original buildings are made out of like a balsa wood. And then some of the newer buildings are made of plastic using a 3D printing process. So look close, because there is our High Line right there. Let's start out at 14th Street, which is right about here. And then we're going to move up the High Line. Here we go. So the beginning of the High Line is at that white rectangular building. And then we're moving up the High Line here. You see it in between the avenues here, passing through some of the buildings. This is what's today the High Line right here. And then the High Line ends. Here's the spur. And then the High Line ends right here at Hudson Yards. As you see, Hudson Yards is still completely exposed. Hudson Yards, a very new project here. Again, the entire model was updated back in 1992. So that was the last time the entire model was updated. The Jacob Javits Convention Center is right here. So that's on the model. And you can see all the old piers. A lot of these piers don't exist anymore. But the Intrepid is here on the model. Let's zoom in on the Intrepid. There's the Intrepid right there. So how do they keep it dust free? There's a person who comes around every week and dusts the model. A long time ago, back in the 80s, they did allow you to walk the model. And obviously the model was completely destroyed when people were allowed to do that. We're getting back up to Uptown here. This is Central Park. 59th Street is right here. Midtown Manhattan, Times Square, Empire State Building right here. So Frank, there is no scheduled update as of yet. And to be honest, they're probably not going to do a big, really do a big update of the model anytime soon. They want to secure some more funding before doing that. It costs quite a lot of money just to maintain the model. Admission carry is absolutely free. The last additions on the model were the new Yankee and Shea stadiums. As we fly up Central Park, Bethesda Terrace is right down there. The Sheep's Meadow is right there. This is the lake, the Great Lawn, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. This is the reservoir. And then up here, the Harlem Mirror. And then up in this area here is Harlem. MSG is right here. Let's zoom in on MSG since we're here. MSG is right here. This is MSG right here. Let's zoom in on it. Madison Square Garden right there. And the Farley Post Office right across the street. Yeah, Paula, this always amazes me, this model. This model always amazes me. As we fly up north again, let's get to Yankee Stadium. We had it that'll be $20 to get in San Francisco. Well, this is part of a museum, Carrie. So there's the new Yankee Stadium. The new Yankee Stadium is created out of plastic using a 3D printing process. Let's zoom in on the new Yankee Stadium. There's Yankee Stadium. Frank, I'm glad you enjoyed the content. Look at Yankee Stadium right there. Yep, 181st Street, 181st Street. Yankee Stadium, everybody, right there. And that is the new Yankee Stadium. The old Yankee Stadium would be standing across the street to the right-hand side. Developers of new buildings can add their buildings to the model. So at the developer's request, their building can be added to the model at any time. Brooklyn Bridge Park has been recently added to the model. I'm going to show you that in a few moments as the sun goes down. Oh, is it 161st Street? Whoops. Okay, I thought it was 181. Okay, it's 161. All right, there you go. The George Washington Bridge. I'm directly above right now. The George Washington Bridge as nightfall. And Ethan, once again, only the 5 boroughs of New York City are in the model. Westchester County, Nassau County, Suffolk County, and anything in New Jersey is not in the model. Only the 5 boroughs, Ethan. Where we went recently is right up here, the Cloisters and Inwood Park, Fort Tryon Park, right here. And in the center of the screen is the Cloisters Museum. I highly recommend visiting the Cloisters Museum. It is the medieval collection for the Metropolitan Museum of Art. You have to clean it. You have to clean free duct there with air going? I think so there, Easy Rider, yes. You know how to 3D print. Awesome, Perry. This is Inwood Park, right here. And this is the Harlem River. Let's go down the Harlem River, which is not really a river, but a tidal estuary that separates the Bronx from Manhattan Island. As the sun comes up on the model, we see Randall's Island right there in the middle of the screen. Let's zoom in on it. There it goes, Randall's Island and the Triborough Bridge. Right up there. You can see the RFK Triborough Bridge right there. The new LaGuardia Airport is right over here. There's LaGuardia, right up there. At the bottom of the screen, you have Rikers Island, and then LaGuardia is just beyond that. Love the parks and the water glowing. Yeah, Josh, it's kind of an effect they have. They use black light to highlight some of these things here on the model. Yep, sun's coming up here in the miniature city of New York. But you can see they even have terrain. Some of the terrain is recreated here. There's Fort Tryon Park, the Cloisters. Those buildings on stilts are right up there. And look at how big those apartment buildings are uptown. The Trans-Manhattan Expressway that leads you on to the George Washington Bridge is right here. Over 300 people, Dan, constructed the original scale model. Over 300 people. There's something like 325 panels that create this model, and it took 3 years to make. How did they replace the bulbs without damaging the model below? You could get underneath the model, Danielle. This entire model is built on top of there's access ways underneath the model. So that's how they replace all those little light bulbs on it. You could actually see where the little airplane lands and takes off at LaGuardia. You could just see the light coming in from underneath the model. But there are access points underneath the model to maintain it. Yeah, John, you know, I have never seen the underside of the model before. I've heard about it, never seen it. So now we're looking all the way down Manhattan Island. We're directly above the Hudson River. The Hudson River is to the right-hand side. The East River is to the left. And we're looking all the way down, all across New York Harbor to the Verrazano Bridge. So we're looking all the way down the city from Harlem. I mean, if you make believe a little bit, it really almost does look real. But it is quite amazing that they built something like this over 50 years ago. And as you see, oh, was that runway 31, Nibble? Thank you so much. So as you see, New Jersey right here is blacked out. You see New Jersey just sneaks in here on the model, but as you see, it's all blacked out. So sorry, New Jersey. Sorry, Westchester. Sorry, Nassau and Suffolk counties. You're not on the map. That's Pilot Talk with Nibble. And then we have some references here. We have these great Hagstrom maps here that show you the city here, so you get an idea of what is where, and you could kind of figure out where's what. Eventually, Hudson Yards will be added to the model when they update the whole model. Ooh, are we seeing an Embraer E175 take off and land at LaGuardia? Awesome. So this bridge up here is the George Washington Bridge. Then we have all these bridges here, the Harlem River bridges. Then we have the Throgs Neck and Whitestone bridges up here. Yeah, this is the George Washington Bridge right here. Yep, we're looking from the west right now towards the east. I don't do the Natural History Museum too often, Dirty, so maybe. I'll give that a maybe. I'm not planning to go to the Natural History Museum anytime soon. How's the traffic on the George Washington today? Very crowded and very busy. There's the Empire State Building. So these projections you're seeing around the model is an art piece that's bringing awareness to women's violence and domestic violence here in New York City. So these women here are telling their personal stories of domestic abuse, and they're talking about where they lived in the city and what happened to them on a personal level. The detail is amazing, Susan. The detail is amazing. So now we're over the Village, Lower Manhattan, Battery Park City, right there. Where we were yesterday, Governor's Island is right up here. Take the George Washington Bridge. The Lincoln Tunnel and Holland Tunnel are always backed up. So here is an update to the model that's fairly recent. Sadly, the signal is not good in most of the buildings. At the Natural History Museum, yes, Stanley, I have to agree. So right here, Brooklyn Bridge Park is updated on the model. Let's zoom in on it. Brooklyn Bridge Park has been updated on the model. Brooklyn Bridge Park did pay to get their park updated on the model. So there it is, Brooklyn Bridge Park, Jane's Carousel, the Brooklyn and Manhattan bridges right there. Let's go up the East River. Brooklyn, Manhattan Bridge, and after that we're going to see the Williamsburg Bridge. There's the Williamsburg Bridge right there. As we continue up the East River, the Newtown Creek is coming into view, and that separates Brooklyn, Greenpoint, Brooklyn from Long Island City and Queens. Long Island City and Queens not on the model, only the City Court building is on the model. So a lot of those new buildings in Long Island City are not on the model as of yet. The Never Built in New York City was a pretty amazing sight, Nibble. The Queensboro Bridge, the 59th Street Queensboro Bridge, Ed Koch Bridge right there going over Roosevelt Island. And then you have the Hellgate Bridge, the RFK Bridge up there. Randall and Ward's Islands. There's Rikers Island, LaGuardia Airport, and the Throgs Neck and Whitestone Bridges off in the distance. The Bronx is way up there. There's the Bronx. Ooh, somebody has a laser pointer. Somebody has a laser pointer, that's good. We need Ed Koch, right? The river is huge. New York City is an archipelago, so all the rivers are big. As the lights come up, here is, of course, the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. You can see Battery Park to the right-hand side. Battery Park City to the south, to the bottom of the screen there. Sorry, Battery Park City to the bottom of the screen. And right there in the middle, the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. Yeah, Frank, you waiting for Godzilla to show up? Yeah. Yes, Ed Koch made us all laugh. How am I doing, he would say. How am I doing? There's actually a great video I watched this morning of the reconstruction of the Williamsburg Bridge. It was fascinating. So, Kat, it is free for everybody. You do not need an NYC ID, Kat. Anyone all around the world could visit the Queens Museum for absolutely free. All you got to do is one thing: go to the Queens Museum's website and get yourself a timed ticket. I literally got a timed ticket right before entering the building. So I shut the live stream off, I ordered a timed ticket, then I came right in. So that's all you need, Kat. So all tickets here are absolutely free for everybody from all over the world. So come on, if you've never seen this, Kat, come up here to Queens and check it out. No, not tax dollars hard at work, John. The Queens Museum is run by a consortium of private companies. So no city money maintains the Queens Museum. It's all self-reliant, and it is so it's all private money that maintains the museum. How long was Mayor Koch? I think he was mayor for 8 years. You're more than welcome, Kat. Yep, the museum is closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. So Wednesdays through Sundays, the museum is open. Yes, Jamaica Estates would be on the map. It's up here in this area here. It's way up there. If it's in Queens, it's on the map. It's on the model. It's free, but exactly, you can make a donation towards its upkeep. But I'm not gonna lie, guys. The companies that maintain the Queens Museum are quite loaded, and the Queens Museum itself is it's doing good. Let's just put it that way. They're not really hard up for money. The Verrazano Narrows Bridge right here. There you go. Ed Koch was mayor from 1978 to 1989. Hit that like button if you like this nonsense. There's the Verrazano Bridge. Brooklyn is to the left-hand side, Staten Island's to the right-hand side, and you can see how the panels line up from this angle here. But this is my whole world. Bay Ridge in one end, and then just to the top of the screen, there is Coney Island. And Gravesend Bay right there. Yes, philanthropy is a wonderful thing. Yes, keep your money, Ms. Viking, keep your money. Spend it on hot dogs or a souvenir here at the Queens Museum. Looks like the sun's going down once again on the model. Let's zoom around here. Where I'm walking, this pathway would have been where the simulated helicopter ride would have ran along this little pathway right here. So where you're walking here on this ramp is where the helicopter ride took place. How detailed is Central Park? Let me show you. As the sun goes down in the park and the city, the parks are pretty highly detailed photos. Let's zoom all the way in on the park as the sun goes down here on the model. Giuseppe, ciao, buongiorno. I would say Central Park is very highly detailed because everything is in it. That's the Great Lawn in the center of the screen. The Jacqueline County Onassis Reservoir is to the left-hand side. Near the top of the screen, you have the Metropolitan Museum of Art. As we go down, you have the Ramble, the lake. You could just see Bethesda Terrace. You could just see the mall, the only straight pathway in all of Central Park. Me too, Oscar, me too. You can see the traverses, you can see the Hetschker ball fields, you can see the pond. But I would say Central Park is very highly detailed. You can see the Arsenal, you can see Grand Army Plaza in Manhattan. But Central Park is pretty detailed. Then we make our way north to the Harlem Meer. The Harlem Meer in Central Park is the only naturally fed water body in all of Central Park. The Harlem Meer is about 60, no, less than that, it's about 40 feet deep at its deepest, and the Harlem Meer is fed by Montaigne's Rivulet. Montaigne's Rivulet is an underground spring, and that serves, it still does kind of run all the way to the East River, but underground, but that does feed the Harlem Meer with all of its water features. And the Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis Reservoir, again, at its deepest point, is around 40 feet deep. It's not that deep compared to the rivers. The rivers get to around 75 to 90 feet deep, depending on where you are. The lake, once again, pretty shallow, only about 30 feet deep at most, probably not that deep. Again, remember that Central Park is completely man-made. None of it's real. It's nature, staged, managed. Designed by Frederick Laura Olmsted and Calvert Vaux. Central Park has 27,000 trees, 9,000 benches, 142 miles of drainage pipe, 58 miles of pedestrian pathways. It's 843 acres large. It's a 51 block deep park that starts at 59th Street and goes all the way up to 110th Street between 5th and 8th Avenues. You can see the North Woods, the Lacer ice skating rink. It's all here. Yep, 843 acres. Central Park. All right, welcome, Dave. As we fly over Midtown, let's see the Petri dish. Let's see Times Square. And we can see the building that the Times Square ball is on. Let's zoom in on it. So if you look very closely, you're gonna have to look very, very closely. You can see where we dropped the Times Square ball. A little model of New York City. Yes, indeed, Joshua. It's only the largest architectural scale model in the world. Good to see. Thank you so much, Todd Scott, with a $2 super chat. Todd Scott, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. And hello, Pammy. Good to see you, Pammy. Welcome on into the show. Thank you so much for tuning on in. And thank you so much, Todd Scott, for the $2 super chat. Much appreciated. All right, let's zoom in on Times Square here. Again, this is the world's largest architectural scale model by area, of course. This takes up the most area in real life and the most area in a room. 895,000 buildings are recreated on this model. We're now just at 42nd Street. We're going to zoom in at the New York Public Library. It's that building with the light on it. Then we're going to make our way down 42nd Street. And can you see that little triangular building? That's where the Times Square ball drops from, right there. You even have the Viacom building, 1515 Broadway, is here on the model. That's just to the left-hand side of the screen right there. But that is where the Times Square ball drops, right there. We make our way up north. And then here's the rest of Midtown Manhattan. You can see Rockefeller Center, which is right here. There's 30 Rockefeller Center and the top of the rock right there. And then I moved back to the west side and we could see Worldwide Plaza. There's Worldwide Plaza right there. That's 8th Avenue and 50th Street. Pretty amazing. MSG. We're back down to the West Village and all the village. Chinatown, Lower Manhattan, Battery Park City, Battery Park, Governor's Island, New York Harbor. You can see three live streamers, yes. They're all live streaming each other, Nibble. They're all live streaming each other. Now we're back over Brooklyn. We go from Brooklyn over the Narrows to Staten Island. Here's Staten Island. Staten Island really gets no love on the model. Of course, where the garbage dump is where you have this glass overlook here. So Staten Island gets no love on the model. But it still looks cool. Another nighttime scene here on the model. Yes, Staten Island gets no love in real life too, that's true. So whatever Canada, good to see you. The last time the entire model was updated was back in 1992. Some updates have been made, like Citi Field and the new Yankee Stadium and Brooklyn Bridge Park. And the updates are coming depending on the developer, whether the building developer or the property developer wants to be on the model. There is no timetable set yet for an entire update to the model. Staten Island, the forgotten borough. Good to see you, Kingpin, Charles, and Demarius are here. Awesome, good to see you, Kingpin. Welcome to the show. You're more than welcome, whatever Canada. Welcome on into the show. This is kind of like, you know, right now the Panorama is kind of like a time capsule. So it shows you things that for the most part aren't around, and probably the biggest thing that's on the model that's not around is, of course, the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. So I always like to tell people, if you never saw the Twin Towers in real life, this is the best spot to see what the Twin Towers were like on our skyline. So if you really want to get an idea of how big the Twin Towers were, come here to the Panorama of New York City here at the Queens Museum, and you can see that. This is my favorite spot of the model right here, because we have Coney Island down here, Floyd Bennett Field, Jamaica Bay, JFK Airport. Then here's Manhattan way over there. But over 895 models are recreated here on the model. And for every inch on the model is 100 feet in real life. So thus the Statue of Liberty is a measly 3 inches tall. You're grateful the Earth doesn't spin that fast in real life. Yes, indeed, Diana. Oh, Darlene, I love New York City. And I love this model because it makes me feel like a child every time I come in here. That's why I love it, Darlene. It's amazing. Looking at downtown Brooklyn. They got to really update downtown Brooklyn. Downtown Brooklyn needs to be updated. Long Island City needs to be updated. So there are a lot of parts of the city that needs to be updated. But I do genuinely love the city. That's why on this YouTube channel we tour. We don't just merely walk. We tour, people. We tour. Exactly. I am obligated to love New York City as a licensed New York City tour guide. contractually obligated to love the city of New York. As the sun comes up here in the model, let's zoom in on Lower Manhattan, give you an idea of what the Twin Towers used to look like. Yeah, this isn't a walking channel. I'm sorry, John Lord. This is not a walking channel. So as you see, there are those Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. You really get an idea of how big and imposing they were on our skyline all those years ago. The Brooklyn Bridge is to the left-hand side. The Manhattan Bridge is to the right-hand side. And at the bottom of the screen, near the bottom of the screen, is the East River, and at the top of the screen is the Hudson River. You can just see the Williamsburg Savings Bank building on the model also, right near the bottom center of the screen. Good to see you, Norm, out there in Bangor, Pennsylvania. Williamsburg Bridge coming into the shot now as we pivot around Manhattan Island. Yeah, we don't walk here, we promenade and tour. I agree. Look at how big those Twin Towers were on the model. Why are the East and West Village in Manhattan, but Middle Village in Queens? Kingpin, I honestly don't know that question, Kingpin. It is amazing how much the downtown Brooklyn skyline has changed. I have to agree, John. So now we're directly over Queens. And let me show you where we are on the model. We're gonna make our way up the East River here. Long Island City, Queens, the Queensboro Bridge, and then we gotta follow the number 7 line. There's Astoria, Queens, near the top. There's LaGuardia Airport, Flushing Bay. There you go, Giuseppe. There's Citi Field right there. I still call it Shea Stadium. And we are right next to that little globe down there. There is Unisphere. Let's zoom in on it. Unisphere, the Tet Tomorrow, and the New York City Pavilion. We are in that little rectangular building right there. You can see Terrace in the Park. You can see the Hall of Science. The Fountain of the Planets is to the to the right-hand side. And near the bottom of the screen is the old Aquacade. Yeah, totally different, John. Totally different. So there's the Flushing Meadows ponds right there. We're right there. So when I go home, I have to travel all the way down through here, through Manhattan, then over the Manhattan Bridge, and all through Brooklyn, and I gotta make my way all the way over there. So I live here right now. I got a long trip ahead of me as the sun goes down once again on the model. There's that little airplane landing at LaGuardia again. My favorite part of the model. As we come around the model here, we're getting higher and higher in the sky. Kingpin, I'm glad you enjoy the content on the channel. More exciting adventures to come here in New York. Now we're getting really high up. Getting really, really high up. As you see, I have a long way to go when I'm done with this video. It is pretty at night. Is there a train connecting Brooklyn and Queens? Yes, the G train there, Nibble. The G train is the only subway train that goes from Long Island City into Brooklyn. It runs along the F line. So here's an idea of how big the buildings are on the model. And actually, the sun comes up here in the model before I show you the part of the model you could kind of touch. Legs dangling? Yes, indeed, my legs are dangling. I am the only New York City live streamer to live stream from a helicopter with my legs dangling out the side of it. And also, fun fact, I am the only New York City live streamer who has live streamed from a helicopter where most of the live stream is actually flying in the helicopter and not in the waiting room before leaving to fly on the helicopter. Just saying, guys. And when I mean legs hanging out the side of the helicopter, my legs are literally hanging out the side of the helicopter. As the sun comes up here on the model. So now we're high above the borough of Queens. There is Yankee Stadium, the George Washington Bridge. You know, Neil, I don't know how detailed Rodman's neck is on the model. I think it's somewhere here in the model. Don't know exactly where. I'm gonna have to look at the map. There it is. Nabul, thank you so much for the link. If you want to see an actual live stream from a helicopter, check out the link that Nabul just posted in the chat. Flying over the greatest city of the world. And there you could get an actual helicopter flight where my legs dangle out the side of a helicopter. And the majority of the live stream is actually flying in a helicopter and not in the waiting room. Oh, it's a part of City Island. So that is directly beneath me. That's right here. That's right there. There's City Island right there. That was an amazing helicopter stream, I have to agree. So there's City Island. And it's, I don't know, it's pretty detailed. I mean, again, the detail on this is pretty accurate. Rodman's neck seems to be just like an area where they go shooting off guns and stuff, so. It's so tiny, yes indeed. For every inch on the model, it's 100 feet in real life. You can see some of the lights that are underneath the model here at LaGuardia. Gotta wait for the sun to come up here on the model, and then I'm gonna talk to you about it. Well, you could only get so detailed about a shooting range, Neil. If there's no large buildings there, you know, it's the landmass. That's all they could really reproduce. Like this is all Queens. And then you have the Whitestone and Throgs Neck bridges, which take you into the Bronx, which is right here. It's a big lot, exactly. I'll be surprised. Okay, Neil. Okay, once the sun comes up, I'm going to give you guys an idea of how big the model is. Or how small the model is. Naked HD, bro, it's cheap. Bro, cheapest Tinder just for sex? Da! Don't forget to go to naked-hd.xyz for the cheapest Tinder just for sex. Where was J-Lo born? J-Lo was born in the Bronx, which is right up here. All right, people. So here we have a representation of the buildings here on the model. As you see, this is how big the Empire State Building is compared to my hand, but you can touch this. This gives you an idea of what the buildings are like on the model here. And as you see, you come out to the East River and Queens and everything gets really low and small. But this gives you an idea of how big the buildings are here on the model. Hello there, Fox Tech 106. There it is. Yay! All right, guys. Shall we do our Colombo part of the live stream? Put a number 1 in the chat if you want to see one more thing. I have one more thing, just one more thing. It's our Colombo time of the chat or the live stream. Put a number 1 in the screen. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to see just one more thing. It's time for the Colombo portion of our live stream. Hey, all the ones coming in. Thank you so much there. Thank you so much there. S. Fields and Jerry and John Lauren, Brian Davis and Char Links and Nabul and Perry and Diana Lee and Deming and Madam Mojo and Max Shadow and Easy Rider and Neil and Viking 180 and Darlene and Dan and Colleen and Myrna. You guys want the Colombo section of the live stream, huh? Just one more thing, ma'am. Just one more thing. Just one more thing. I have one more thing to show you guys before we end this live stream. So let's do it. We're now going to leave the panorama and this beautiful, look at this beautiful map here. But now we're going to go into this other section here. And this is what we call visible storage. Here in visible storage, we have some items from the 1939 World's Fair. Look at this cool stuff here. Michelle K, Dave in Bangor, Maine, Susan Ingalls, Activity 79, want one more thing. Look at all these cool artifacts from the 1939 World's Fair right here. Look at this plate, my goodness, look at this plate, everybody. Wow, look at that, isn't that cool? I want that, I want that. So a lot of these articles change over the months, and then you could actually watch some films. Oh, this is a film from the 1964 World's Fair right here. But now this is all the 1964 articles. I gotta thank Coney Island Jim. Coney Island World's Fair salt and pepper shakers. Here they are. I have those now, yay! My salt and pepper shakers are doing fabulous. But look at all this, look at all these amazing artifacts. There's a little tiny little one right here. Look at this tiny little unisphere. Look how cute it is. It's so tiny and cute. And exactly, and I have a tray. Coney Island Jim got me the salt and pepper shaker with the tray. The tray is not in this exhibit right here, which is pretty cool. But one more miniature to show you guys. Here is a miniature of the entire 1964 World's Fair right here. All of the developers and concessionaires at the World's Fair all looked upon this model here at one point or another. We have the amusement district over here, the Unisphere, the New York City Pavilion. We walked along here. The Fountain of the Planets is right up there. The United States Pavilion right here. The Ford Pavilion right down here. The General Motors Pavilion right there. The Futurama 2. But look at this. Isn't this cool? Yeah, Dave, yeah, they do clean this periodically. But this was actually shown to all the people who put money into the World's Fair. But ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure showing you around the panorama of New York City and the Queens Museum. It's around here and show you all these amazing artifacts and all this amazing stuff here. And 2 for 2, thank you so much there, John. From the Queens Museum here at Flushing Meadows Corona Park. This is Dutch Maz signing off. Have a fantastic New York Day and Queens Day, whether you live here or not. I want you to hug your loved ones, cherish your moments, and wherever you are. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more exciting adventures. Nighty night, ta-ta, bye-bye. Get those girls. Run into the water. Run into the water, guys. Run into the water. But later, guys. Let's run away.